my friends, the great experiment.
Starfleet Academy.
Hidden trick.
Would you look at that?
The greatest trick.
You people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
The greatest trick.
Welcome to Greatest Trek. It's a new Star Trek podcast by a couple of guys who also host an old Star Trek podcast. I'm Ben Harrison.
I'm Adam Pranica. You ever see the shows combining? Like the War College and Starfleet Academy? Like, eventually they're gonna blend, right?
Sometimes the two shows meet in the quad and, like, you can tell that there's some energy there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess once they're all in Starfleet.
That's what I'm saying.
Did the people at the War College just all become tactics officers?
Or, I mean, every ship needs a chef. Every warship needs a chef, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Probably a great culinary school over there.
At the War College, yeah. Just knife skills in general kind of tend to be something that they specialize in particular.
When was the last time you saw Under Siege? I just remember really loving that movie at a certain age. I don't know if it holds up.
I was thinking about it a lot the other day because we just recorded an episode of Wholesome about The Fugitive, and Tommy Lee Jones and the director Andrew Davis had just come from making Under Siege when they made The Fugitive. And like a lot of the cast are holdovers. Like he's one of those directors that's like, I like that guy. Like give him a part in the new one too, you know?
Let's do that as a bonus episode. What do you think?
Sure.
Let's get it in there.
The Andrew Davis Film Festival, to be found behind various paywalls all over the internet.
Yeah, that's true. All sorts of good ideas over here at Greatest Trek.
Mm-hmm. Put it on the list.
You're a maniac.
Was it a good idea to take the cadets out on a mission today, though? Feels like every episode is its own thing.
Yeah.
Its own story. We're going out on a cruise on this one, Ben. It's episode 6 of the first season of Starfleet Academy. Come, let's away.
You know the greatest danger facing us is an irrational fear of the unknown.
Sphincter puckering pain.
Am I reading the title of our screener right, or is it mistyped?
I think that based on the first scene, Come was definitely very much on the minds of the people penning this particular teleplay.
Woe to be young and in love and away from home.
Like, how do you hang a sock on the door when all the doors open and shut? Like, you know?
You leave the sock on the ground outside. There's no doormat, but like where the doormat would be.
I don't trust Occam to notice a gym sock on the floor. I think Darum, Cadet Franco, he's going to notice the sock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Cadet Sadal spots the sock. And it's going to be more traumatic for him. Walking in on Sis, bedding down with your roommate.
Yeah, that's risky business, I think. I wonder if, like, new Star Trek, a real trailblazer for all sorts of things on TV, like the traumatic stuff, like the blood and the guts and so forth, is some real hard sport fucking, just too much to show on this program. And the reason I bring it up is because this is slow, sensual, love making.
Yeah.
Not the college style athletic fucking that I sort of presumed we would get. And is that because you can't show that on TV?
You just can't, guys.
The hard-hitting sex, harder to simulate, you know, like the intimacy coordinator is gently going through what the various performers are willing to do and not to do.
That is a really great point about that, is that like there are consequences to bodies hitting each other in that way that an actor may not be into.
You know, like she practices Taekwondo, he practices jiu-jitsu. Their skill sets may be very different in important ways. I guess they've just had their first time with each other and are now of a mind to talk about their first times in general.
Yeah, that sounds like science fiction to me.
That is a risky conversation.
Hey, do you want to ruin the afterglow?
Yeah. In a post-scarcity future, is it like even sex is post-scarcity, so nobody's like touchy about it anymore?
I mean, maybe that's where we're all heading. You read about it all the time. The sex deficit in society.
It seems like the Deltons are maybe the touchiest about sex.
No, family tambourine dancing.
Yes, family tambourine dancing.
Unclear on what the expected refractory periods are for Deltons. In this particular bedroom, they're ready to go again.
Yeah.
And this time, Tarima's neck thingy is going off. And all of a sudden, the both of them are in this liminal florist space.
Yeah, they wake up in what dreams may come, and this is like the safe space. This is like when you do like meditation therapy. They tell you to like make the place that you can go back to if you need to, and that's what she's done here.
This is not all stuff from her mind. This is not all of her creation, because we see the teddy bear from Caleb's childhood, and oh no, don't touch it, Tarima. By doing that, she triggers a jump scare, and Caleb takes great umbrage with the non-consensual nature of the mind intimacy that they just experienced. And Caleb is surprised enough to push back pretty hard during the aftermath of that, hard enough to ruin the mood. And Tarima's got to get out of there pretty fast. Who knows when her brother is going to be back?
It seems like what happened is she kind of saw his deepest, darkest, like all the stuff about his mom and his childhood trauma, stuff that he guards pretty carefully. And by touching that bear, she peeked behind a curtain she was not meant to peek behind. And she's very like apologetic about it initially, but then when he's like piling on and being like, "What the fuck are you doing looking at that shit, fucking weirdo?" Then she pushes back.
The bear is like one of those modern refrigerators with a screen on it, and it's got a bunch of tabs. You don't want your new sexual partner to see your bear tabs open, you know?
No.
Definitely don't touch them and swipe them the way that she did.
Right. It's like, I get that it's out in the kitchen. That's fair, but I live alone. Like,
right.
Who are you to judge what I do with the machine that keeps my milk fresh?
Everyone's aboard the Athena, along with the rest of the cadets who are being addressed by Nala Ake about the mission ahead. They've arrived at the ship graveyard for the fleet, and this is a place where joint training exercises take place, specifically aboard the USS Miyazaki. And this is a ship that was destroyed while experimenting with its one and only singularity drive. This was going to be the warp drive alternative that ships could possibly use after the burn. That didn't work.
Yeah, this place is a tomb, unfortunately. And so they come out here once a year with cadets and do this practice training thing where the cadets board the ship, and they're meant to power up life support and then power up the ship's computer. And nobody is like wildly successful historically at doing this exercise. So the pressure's on. Can you go reactivate this ship in a way that beats the precedent set?
We're going to separate into teams. A story goes aboard the ship to do the crisis response. B story stays aboard the Athena to practice supporting the away missions in times like these. And there's a 1-hour time limit for restoring all the functions, which is just the perfect amount of time for an episode of Star Trek.
I was going to say, it's really nice to know that this will be tied up in that amount of time.
Yeah.
We learned that the USS Miyazaki is the subject of some legend in among these students. There's like a comic book series about it. And as the Red team is marching into the A story, there's some debate between the War College kids and the Academy kids about whether those comic books are meant to inspire young minds or just to feed colonialist Federation propaganda into young minds.
The comic books make this conversation feel a little lighter than maybe it could be absent them.
Yeah.
Like, there's kind of a heavy conversation here about the role of Starfleet / the Federation in its interest in absorbing, changing, and colonizing the worlds it interacts with. But it goes by very fast, and it comes on the heels of a comic book conversation where it's like, oh, it's fun. Like, it's snappy, and then it's done with in a way that, like, big issues and questions like this are never resolved this quickly.
I thought it was very interesting how outspoken Caleb was against the goals of this comic book, given that he is in the Academy. Like, he is somewhat under duress, but nevertheless, like, in the Academy to become a member of Starfleet. So interesting that he has this complicated of a feeling about these comics. We also meet Lieutenant Commander Tomov, who is the like instructor leading the away team. And he explains that he bet Laura Thok that the blue team would get the job done. There's a lot on the line. A lot of the adults are placing wagers on what's going to happen with this exercise all over the place on this ship.
All I do is no matter what.
I love it. Great way to pass the time.
Mm-hmm. I loved the hallways aboard the USS Miyazaki. We never really get to see them all the way lit up, so it's unclear whether they're like this is like sealed off stuff that, you know, like, is it like tunnels like they go into the house in E.T. through, or is this like what the hallways looked like when the ship left space dock?
You're right. It really does feel like Bag as design aesthetic in that way.
It feels like Bag. Like
negative pressure machine blowing up a bag tunnel. It definitely feels like that. You're right.
So their first order of business is make it breathable so that they can take down their invisible spacesuits and walk about in comfort.
Which looks so uncomfortable. Can't wait to take off the invisible spacesuits. What a relief that will be.
Well, what you don't realize is how much they bunch up, Adam.
Yeah, lots of complaints about those things.
Caleb Mir uses some programmable matter to take care of that really quickly, and there's some questions about whether that's allowed, and Tomov is like, that's not how this works. Like, we're simulating a real space emergency. Like, you use what you got.
They did it. Life support's back online. Ake wins the bet, and this moment of victory lasts for so little time, because as soon as they do, they pick up a bunch of transport signatures on their sensors and a bunch of life form readings too. And Ake sees this and orders the cadets back to the Athena, like, now. But there's a block on the ship's ability to beam them home. And right away they get a FaceTime from Scrab, the human alien hybrid leader of the Furies. And he's there to announce that he's taken the cadets hostage. He's demanding salvage rights to the ship. And he wants 30,000 bars of latinum. All of this he wants resolved in 5 hours. Or else it's dinner time for him.
Yeah, he's going to eat Caleb if they don't pay up.
Do you think that the composition for this scene was inspired by that sequence in Spaceballs where Pizza the Hut does his ransom video? The guy does the ransom video and Pizza the Hut is the hostage.
I believe Vinny is the guy that's like
right
having little bites of his boss.
Because basically Scrab is like, either you give me the latinum or the ship and all this stuff, or else Scrab is going to order takeout of these cadets. And now it's like, I don't really get the reference, but okay, it seems serious.
It's very upsetting. He's also kind of like blurping around. He's like phasing in and out a little bit.
Which does nothing for our ability to understand what this guy says. I watched this sequence 10 times, Ben.
Yeah.
To get his name, to get what his deal was, to get what he wanted was.
We are hungry,
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
That was really hard.
I wrote down Duo Scraw as his name. And he's a furry? Did I get that right? He's like, he's into dressing up as a mascot and having sex in a hotel room?
All I know is Caleb Sparty could feed a family of 4 of these guys. I feel like he's going to go a long way, right?
But he's going to be so stringy. Like there's no marbling in the meat that Caleb has to offer.
Very lean, dense muscles there. You're going to want to go low and slow on a Caleb leg.
Yeah.
Enough jib-jab. Let's focus on teamwork.
After the theme, Dr. Mark
hi, Mark.
is announcing that shift rotation has been suspended because an actual emergency has broken out. And the Admiral, who's pretty annoyed to be here instead of detailing his classic car collection, says that there's probably a cloaked ship in the area, and that's why this attack was able to be done so swiftly without their foreknowledge.
You can't fight the Furies directly, is one of the points made here.
Yeah.
Admiral, full of bad ideas, but you have to take them seriously because he's so good looking, proposes that maybe because a frontal assault would result in the deaths of all the cadets, maybe you bring in a new Spraka. After all, he had a weapon that proved to be successful against these things before. Maybe we can borrow it or ask for its technology or negotiate for the use of it or whatever.
They can't trust that the Furies will give the hostages back if they pay up the way they've been asked to, because the Furies have a history of accepting their payment and then just killing the hostages anyways. So they are backed into a corner and there aren't any good ideas left. So Nospraka, one of the worst ideas, is floated and sort of agreed to.
I mean, under what seems like protest by Nala Ake. She's not loving this.
The enemy of our enemy.
He's usually just another enemy. This one's an asshole.
Aboard the Miyazaki, the cadets get perp walked to the door of an airlock, and we get a better look at these aliens who look a lot like Banes. They've got this this feed bag contraption over their maws.
Yeah.
And they kind of pointy cone heads.
They're definitely less well-fed than Bane, and they seem to be like rotting and or zombieing a little bit.
For sure.
But they're very creepy, and yeah, they phase around in real life too. That wasn't like a bad connection on the FaceTime or anything.
Yeah.
And Tomov is among them, and looks like they're about to take Bobby.
Dang it, Bobby.
One of the Vulcan War College guys, and they're getting ready to shove him out the airlock as a show of, we are willing to off hostages, you better take us seriously. And Tomov makes some subtle hand gestures that trigger a great big Star Trek fight.
During this fight, a bunch of the Furies get locked away behind this panel, leaving the professor out there alone to kind of sacrifice himself in a very zombie movie kind of way to allow the cadets to flee to safety.
Yeah, they have to get to the choppa, and by choppa I mean bridge, while he stands and fights and holds off the onslaught. And they get to the bridge pretty worse for wear. The guy that J-Den was canoodling with last episode, pretty severely injured. The doors get sealed, but they're not super confident that that's going to hold them off for very long. Caleb is pretty freaked out that Tomov decided to self-sacrifice to protect his students. Cadet Bobby is defending his professor for the decision he made.
A famous officer once said, "The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few."
What did you make of, in this moment, the idea of what we understand to be a pacifist Klingon to be involved in this, and whether or not he might be a liability versus an advantage in a moment like this? I wish I knew more. And I'm asking this now because I don't think this ever gets answered this episode, is when shit goes down, can you depend on him to kill a fucking Fury? I don't know.
Yeah, how, like, what are the lines of the pacifism? Is self-defense okay or not?
I really needed to know that because I'm really rolling around that math. in every scene we get on the bridge, because there's this constant threat for the rest of the episode of these Furies getting in.
Yeah. We need a force field. The emergency lockdown is not enough, what Jay Dead says. And so they got to get the computer going. Coincidentally, that is like one of the 2 tasks that they were sent over here to do. And they're going to try it. And I was like, oh, fuck, is this all a fake out? Like, is this Wesley pulling the girder off of the chaotic bro? Like, making the cadets think that the situation is actually dangerous, but it isn't.
Oh, that's really interesting. Like, when we've seen the Kobayashi Maru happen, it has felt lifelike like this.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
felt like I saw that coming a couple of times in this episode, and I was really surprised when that like winds up just like being 100% not the case.
All the remaining cadets go from like, where is the Athena? Why hasn't mom come to pick me up from school yet? To we're going to have to figure this out ourselves. We're pretty sure Athena's still out there.
Yeah.
But until they're able to rescue us, it's just us. And so like, in order to get the computer working again, Sam fists a control panel to bring things back to life. And she's able to figure out pretty fast that the computer split itself into separate small pieces and put itself into safe places around the ship so it could survive. But when I heard this about the computer, I thought, is this computer alive in the way we've known Zora to be? Because why would a computer make a choice like this? Nothing is said about that.
Yeah, it's like this ship blew up accidentally, and I guess in the context of that, it like hit itself all over the place.
I mean, maybe this question is answered in context later. Like, they try so hard to convince the computer that the ship's crew is dead and they're its new crew. You don't have to convince a computer of anything. Is the need to convince it suggestive of it being a life form?
There was that scene, maybe this was like episode 1 or 2 of Discovery, where Michael Burnham has to play a logic game with the computer to get out of the brig.
Yeah.
When the ship is getting blown apart.
This could be a version of that.
It kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get the computer back online enough that we can put up a force field, but it's going to take a while. And the Furies begin to shoot some kind of beam at the door that is turning it red hot. And it feels like they're going to be able to cut through at some point.
On the Athena bridge, everyone sees Tomov's frozen body post airlock blow. And you see something like this. Could be freak out time if you're a cadet of a certain kind.
Yeah.
A cadet like Ralph.
Yay!
Right.
Potentially. Who is escorted from the bridge.
Cadet Ralph, not necessarily who you want working the wheels of steel when you're in an emergency situation.
No.
So, like, seeing the Commander Tomovsicle is enough for Ake to decide to go ahead and call Nosbraka. And he comes right away. Like, he's there momentarily. And they ply him with some of their replicator tequila.
Oh, that is a slippery cat piss aftertaste. Sounds lovely.
And we're going to talk about the problem. And he explains a little bit more about the Furies. He says, like, these guys, like, their existence is extremely painful. So what they like to do is go make everybody else's existence extremely painful also.
Noose looks at the camera. Everyone in the scene kind of looks at the camera for a couple of beats, and then they get back to their conversation. Look, it's going to make the Furies really hard to predict in business matters, mostly, if they're unpredictable like this.
And the Admiral, who is very dismissive of the fact that Nosbraka has a smuggling operation, but also has lots of Cuban cigars in his humidor, is like, listen, we'll give you lots of supplies to supplement what you got going in your smuggling operation if you help us.
It's that supplies are just not sexy, I think.
Yeah.
To a criminal like Nosbraka. Like, really? That's the payment for this very dangerous operation. Noose's counteroffer is like, look, I like doing business between Tagetto 1 and Tagetto 4, and y'all kind of screwed that up by supplying Tagetto 1 with dilithium. Why don't you work on maybe stopping all of that so I can control the block that exists between them? That's what I want out of this deal.
He operates like a roadside coffee shop. This is like when you're driving between Dallas and Houston. This is like one of the places that you can pull off and take a poop and get something to wet your whistle.
It's a better comparison than Origami Chicken. I'll say that.
Don't be a dick.
So the Admiral fucks off to ask for permission to do this, to begin denying dilithium to one of their allies so that they can save their cadets. And that leaves Ake and Braca in the same room alone with each other.
He doesn't like the way that she's talked to him in the past. Can they just start over? It seems like a good idea, right?
Let's hit the reset. Come on, let's just connect.
This scene was difficult for me because she doesn't seem interested in that, even though she needs him to save all these lives. He has all of the leverage here, so she needs his help. But she does not seem willing or interested in playing nice at all in this moment, in a way that I found pretty surprising.
Her body language could not be more clear. She's sitting normally in this chair.
Something's wrong.
I was reading this as she would rather be working the problem with Starfleet people than sitting with the mustache twirling villain who has literally ordered her to sit in the chair or he won't help her.
This is a Star Trek move here. This is the most toys, right?
It is.
Why don't you put on these lovely new clothes and go sit on the chair?
I must decline.
We need to score a lot of Latinum fast.
Licensed businessmen.
Hey!
Cheaters don't deserve nothing in Latinum.
On the bridge, Genesis and Cadet Franco have figured out what they need to look for the cloaked ship. Not exactly where it is, but how they would determine where it is. And Lurathoc is like, great work. We'll figure it out by flying a space probe around really slowly and figuring out where junk has been displaced in this cloud of debris. Genesis, that's your job.
Yeah. Fly the space probe. Do it dulcimo. Do it very slowly. On the Miyazaki, the Furies are at the door and they're about to get in, and the computer is not taking well to Sam and everyone else's voice commands. What they need to do is convince the computer that the ship's crew is dead. And the best way to do that is to show it the comic books that were made after what happened to the Miyazaki.
This computer doesn't seem to be able to flip through the pages quite as fast as a Commander Data.
Woof, man. You just threw a dart right at a pretty big plot hole to this whole thing. The idea that its reading comprehension of a comic book is 4th grade level.
Well, yeah, maybe that part of the computer got put in a lunch pail or something, and so it's not at its best.
Yeah. Not impressive is the computing power over there.
So the computer is very slowly processing the exciting adventures of itself in the pages of this comic when Tareema is able to kind of surprisingly make a telepathic connection with Caleb, and they sort of are in What Dreams May Come and then in the bridge talking to each other.
Sometimes at your most anxious moments, you'll just have a sexual daydream like this, right? I understand, Caleb.
Caleb, how can you be erect at a time like this? Put that away.
There's a little bit of a freak out happening because when they both arrive at the mental safe room, Tareema and her connection with Caleb means that she feels that he's going to die.
Yeah.
Not a good feeling at all.
And she tells Akam about this, and we cut back to Chancellor Ake's office, where she and Braca are talking about her experience of time and the way people who live forever lose a sense of like beginnings and ends as meaningful events.
We had a conversation very similar to this a few episodes ago about what are stakes to someone like Nala Ake.
Yeah.
When nothing is stressful, when everything is endless, like, do you feel the stakes in the same way as someone else who lives a much shorter life?
She learns that she has something of a notoriety among the Venari Rawl, which is, I feel like this is the first time I was like, okay, Nus Braca and the Venari Rawl, same guys. Okay, gotcha.
We can confirm this? I feel like I'm still not so sure.
Yeah, it says that like they are really in awe of the fact that when it was between a ship full of people and her own son, she sacrificed her own son to save the ship full of people, and that just seems like impossibly badass to them. He's really psychoanalyzing her, like trying to figure out what makes an unending person tick.
It seems pretty clear to Nus Braca anyway that history has a good chance of repeating here, with Caleb Mir playing the role of her son.
Yeah.
This is a point that's made, and then immediately Nala Ake is called away to the bridge at a pretty good time to leave, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, so like she doesn't actually have to sit in the chair. Like he will let her go.
Right.
Yeah, so she learns that Terima has made contact with the cadets on the away mission, which had previously been impossible due to the jamming signals. And she's like, yeah, like I know what's going on that bridge. I can tell you all about it. And this needs some explanation, which Akam provides. He's like, yeah, she's like way more Betazoid than even I am. Like she's made our dad deaf. I couldn't believe they paid that off in this episode. I almost forgot about that episode.
I can't believe that dad gets mad at kid practicing trumpet resulted in dad going deaf because his sister got mad. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, judging by how often my watch tells me I'm in a noisy environment and I should consider moving, I believe it.
So the neck thingy protects her and everyone around her from going deaf specifically? Or are there other things she's able to do, you think?
Yeah, I think that it just happened that was the part of Daddy's brain that got shredded in that context, but she did not then have much control over what her mind can do. But she was like a baby rattlesnake, like puts out too much poison per bite. But now she's on top of it. She's ready to go. She can really be precise with it.
Yeah, so what do you say you remove my neck thingy and I can help in my own special way, is what she proposes. What's the mission going to be if they do that? Well, here's the mission. Have Terima tell Caleb and the crew over there on the Miyazaki to reactivate the singularity drive.
This is amazing. Like, this is like getting the answers to the test because terrorists have invaded the school. Like, but we're going to still finish the test.
So over on the Miyazaki, it's a race against the reading comprehension of a 31st century computer, and the computer finally gets it.
The crew did not survive.
And it puts up some force fields around the bridge just in time to sever a Fury arm off in the process.
I was so glad this happened because I felt it coming. I felt all through this episode that I was feeling things coming and then realizing that I was wrong. And it was nice to be right for once,
You need a severing every couple of episodes in new Star Trek. Otherwise, what are we doing here?
What are we even doing? Yeah. Now the cadets have a phaser. Ho, ho, ho.
In the Athena sickbay, Nala Ake tells Kelrick that Nus Braca needs the Furies off his back. And I'm like, yeah, everybody knows that.
He let slip that he doesn't like these crazy, bat freaks any more than the rest of us. And the Federation patrolling space and keeping them at bay helps him too.
Don't you feel like this scene punches way above its weight, given how short it is? Like, this scene is for all of us later at the end, because we can't have Nala Ake be seen as never seeing this coming, being totally blindsided by what happens later. Her spidey senses tingle, and that tingle starts here.
Yeah, she feels like something is amiss, and this is going too well. But Dr. Mark gives Tareema the message that she needs to get to Blue Team about the little fireflies, and Ake agrees to Nusbraka's dilithium demands, and she's trying to kick it to him, right? She's like, "Yeah, I know that you're scared of the Furies," and he fesses up to that. But it doesn't seem like she's uncovered the dastardly truth.
No, not yet.
What he's told them, the key piece of information is that the Furies are part bat. And so you've got to do a high-pitched sonic weapon. And that's what he has used in the past to successfully beat them. And the USS Sargasso is on its way, and they can modify their deflector dish en route to shoot this beam at the cloaked ship once they figure out where that cloaked ship is. And that will enable them to defeat, I guess, at least the ship supporting the psychos that are trying to eat their students.
That's the plan A. Plan B is to have Tareema tell Caleb to activate the singularity drive so that if plan A doesn't work, they can be grabbed after that. So the Tareema plan begins.
Yeah.
And on the Miyazaki bridge, the cadets can tell that the Furies are working to disable the force field. And that's the moment that Tareema shows up in Caleb's brain. And I really thought a lot about whether or not they could just start mentally fucking. Like Vulcan Bobby looks over and Caleb is like John Malkovich at the end of Rounders, just like air fucking on the bridge.
I was picturing MacGruber in the graveyard personally, but yeah.
Yeah, inappropriate time.
Inappropriate time for that, but also kind of an inappropriate time for all of the like, "I'm so sorry, babe. I didn't react well in the moment."
This is new Star Trek, baby.
Like, if you're going to cut off an arm, you're also going to have the, like, it's an emergency and we have mere seconds before we're all dead, but we need to, like, talk about our feelings for a little while.
We don't have time for this.
They need to access main engineering via the computer.
Bobby's got a program for that. It's the Tiny Fireflies program. And they won't even need to go to engineering. Let's get the engineering screen up on the main viewer, right?
They could do that on the D.
Yeah.
For sure they can do that on the Miyazaki. I like that Jaden, like, does not know about the telepathic connection yet, so he's like, "What is everybody talking about?"
I saw you air humping on the other side of the bridge.
It looked passionate and less violent than the kind of fucking to which my people are accustomed.
You know, the Jaden impression, not as fun as the old impression, which was,
"No.
Caleb, I saw you air fucking quite dishonorably."
Those were the hip thrusts of a batak.
Genesis finds the cloaked ship. And this should be great news, but Ake is like, don't like it. Don't like that this is all going. And we learned in the previous scene that the Sargasso is coming from a nearby space station called J19 Alpha, where they do covert research. And she's like, "What do we know about what those guys are up to on that space station? Like, does that have something to do with this?" And I was like, "Shut up about the space station. Like, this is the emergency. Like, stop worrying about that, Chancellor Ake."
This is now the second tiny moment that we have of Ake starting to figure it out, but just a little bit behind the curve.
I'm worried we're missing something.
The Sargasso arrives. We are on the verge of solving the whole problem. And on the bridge of the Miyazaki, they're getting the program going. There's like a little aside where it is revealed that Caleb also really loves the comics about the Miyazaki, which is like, oh, so you're like that kind of comics fan that likes to hate on the thing that you like obsessively consume? Oh no, Caleb.
These are kids of a certain age, so they must be into comic books.
I guess so. Terima is going to give him the signal, and then they realize that Nusbraka on his like shuttle that's departing the system is sending an encrypted message to the cloaked ship. And that is when the cloaked ship decloaks and reveals itself to be a Veneri Rawl ship of a very similar design to the one in the pilot.
It starts shooting, takes out the Sargasso pretty fast. And we see what this message was that Nusbraka sent to it. They took the bait. Bon appetit. So plan B is going to be plan A now. Ben, start the drive.
And the Athena is like licking shots at this Veneri Rawl ship. I really like the way it looks when Athena is in combat mode.
I really like the new Star Trek way of positioning ships in space for these kind of firefights.
Yeah.
It's very territorial in a way that I appreciate.
Yeah.
Looks good.
It does.
I thought for sure the Miyazaki would get destroyed at some point here, like just being in the middle. Didn't you?
And also, like, given what we know about the other time its drive was turned on.
Exactly. Yeah.
The bad guys are cutting through to the bridge. They're actually coming in now, and there is hand-to-hand and weapons combat going on the bridge, and too much distortion to lock on, and Sam is among the cadets that get hit, and this is when we cut to 6 Bay and see that Terima has gone and torn the implant out of the side of her neck.
And that means her force projection gets to stay on the Miyazaki bridge?
Yeah, or it's just like not attenuated.
I thought by ripping it out, it would mean it would stop the connection and she wouldn't be able to be out there anymore. But
no, because I think that thing is supposed to dull her abilities.
So it takes the governors off of her system in a way that makes her stronger and more able to do that. Okay.
Come on, guys, pay attention.
Bobby gets slimed, and Terima has a little freak out, and we're suddenly with her and Caleb back in the dorm room.
When you see her scream on the Miyazaki bridge and kill the Furies, didn't you feel like she was going to deafen the cadets over there?
No, it seems to be a targeted attack. She destroys the bad guys and not the good guys.
I gotta tell you, man, when we cut back over to 6 Bay and in the aftermath and Caleb's like sitting in the corner, not engaging with the group, I was like, is he deaf now? I lived in that possibility for so long before it was confirmed or not. Like,
I never even considered it. I feel stupid for not having, because it is like she's like screaming like a harpy, and
that's what I'm saying. And there's nothing in the composition that suggests that this is a strategic target thing versus a wide beam of screaming weapon happening there. Like,
well, and she also says the thing about like, you're not going to want to date me after this, which is like,
right. Because I thought she was telling him, I'm about to deafen you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But living is better than dying.
Yeah.
I needed something else in that scene to make that make sense.
The Venari Rawl ship bugs out, and we learn that J-19 Alpha, the space station, was attacked the moment the USS Sargasso left. And the crazy thing is we don't even know what they went and got. Like, Nusbraka orchestrated this whole thing so that he could steal something from that space station. We have no idea what it could have been.
What if it's lore, dude? What if it's lore? Lore/Data? Lore who turned into Data in the 3rd season of Picard, but like...
It could be.
Who fucking knows? What he got is everything, though. He burgled the whole thing.
I think it's going to be Sylvia Tilly, who they've augmented to be a super soldier.
Could be fun. Sylvia Tilly has not shown up yet this season.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's not good at all.
They got to do an inventory audit of J-19 Alpha before they know what's gone. There's a feeling I know very well. The fucking pain of an inventory audit. It sucks.
Nusbraka, or as my autocorrect would have you believe, Bus Barks, is about to become the Quadrant's most wanted criminal, and the Admiral, who the buck stops with, but also somehow makes it feel like it's your fault, is trying to unburden Nala. And she's like, no. We all did this together.
He is so mad and also so interested in taking the blame. It is a shocking bit of business there by Admiral Guy you can't be 100% sure you haven't seen in the background on a segment of America's Test Kitchen. He is all over the place here, and Nala Ake doesn't want to hear it.
No.
Don't get me off the hook.
Please.
After the Admiral leaves, Nusbraka radios in to say hi and to gloat a little bit. Like, my hatred for you is my superpower, Nala Ake. And I think kind of picks up some of the conversation that they were having in the hallway about the comic book at the beginning of Blue Team's departure. Like, the Federation is something that he considers to be a grave threat because it's trying to force its way of life onto everyone. And he doesn't like that.
I thought this scene for Nusbraka and this moment for Paul Giamatti was far better than the one that we got in the first episode because his rage is so much more contained. Like, in that way that anger feels so much worse when it's, like, quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And strategic. Like the bad guy knows what he's doing. And he'll never lose control. You know what I mean? Like this was so good for him, so much better for him, I think, as a threat, I think.
He also is really delighting in the fact that this was kind of the opposite outcome from the one that he and his people feared they would inspire in Ake. She got her son proxy back in rescuing Caleb, but everybody else died.
Right.
And he promises that something else really bad is coming for her. And we end the episode looking at Nala Ake sitting in silence at her desk.
When he tells her that she was his best teacher, are we to take that literally at all? That he was perhaps an ex-student at Budding Flowers Bajoran Kindercare or whatever?
That wasn't where I took it. I was interpreting it as like, in being his adversary, she taught him what not to be, kind of a thing.
One more question. Over the credits, we don't get the music. Instead, we get sounds. Sounds of clicking and shrieking. Are those Fury sounds, or are those the things that were taken from Space Station J-19? Because I think those are Gorn sounds.
Oh.
And if I were going to make a bet, I think what we're talking about here is that reemergence from hibernation, basically, that we were told about that the Gorns do. You put them to sleep for a couple centuries and then they wake back up and do their business. Maybe it's time for them once again. I don't know.
They were studying it like a smallpox sample at Space Station J-19.
Perhaps.
Well, Adam, what did you think about this, the 6th episode of Starfleet Academy?
She'll always bring it home.
I think the 6th episode is the first one that I can say was not entirely for me. Because while I like the idea of an imperfect leader feeling the sting of like a strategic failure, I just don't understand Nala Ake never considering the lives on that ship in a more pronounced way. Like, to bring Nusbraka in on this and to presume that you still have power over that negotiation at all just never made any sense to me. I couldn't get on the level of their conflict here when she needed him that bad to save all those kids' lives. Like, the shit-talking of him, maybe it'll be revealed in the remaining episodes why that made sense, and maybe the engine for that moment is something in the back of her mind that she's like, I can't trust this guy, he's gonna fuck me over by the end of this, so why play nice at all? But I think if Admiral Billboard accident attorney were in the room for that, he'd be like, what are you doing? Sit in the fucking chair, you know?
No, not like that. Sit normal in the chair.
Yeah. So much about the answer to the question about whether I like the episode is her sense of priorities here and my not being on her level for them.
It is a kind of captain thing in Star Trek. Like the captain is doing something that does not make sense to any of the rest of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
But usually by the end of the episode, we have a really good explanation for why the captain was doing that.
Yeah.
And we do not in this episode. So, one hopes that that's something that they address.
And the specificity to Tarima's weapon also being unclear. I don't want to be thinking about what's happening there as things are happening, you know? Like, because plot's happening during those moments. And I'm caught up in looking at Caleb and whether or not he's got blood coming out of his ears or not.
I have to say that that stuff didn't bother me as much. Like, I wonder if it's because I was thinking that this might be a Kobayashi Maru switch him up for as long in the episode as I did.
Yeah.
Like, once Nusbraka is there, it's like, okay, this definitely isn't a Kobayashi Maru switch him up. But then I was like, well, Ake hates this guy and, like, would never believe that she can trust him. So why would she pretend that she does?
It's really interesting that both of us thought things were happening in this episode that ultimately weren't. And it makes me wonder whether or not that is an intention of the episode to do or not.
Or if we're too Star Trek pilled to be watching this clean the way I imagine they hope a lot of the viewers are. Like I think that this show is very much pitched at a fresh viewer that isn't necessarily a Star Trek fan.
I reject the idea of being Star Trek pilled because it's about something making sense.
Yeah.
It's not Star Trek related at all to wonder whether or not screaming on the bridge of the Miyazaki is going to deafen everyone or just specific people.
Well, I'm saying like the Kobayashi Maru comparison specifically, like
right.
But yeah, like in a first season, you are teaching your viewer what the rules of a world are, and we come preloaded with a lot of the rules of the world. But this is a far future that we haven't seen much of yet, so we have to reevaluate everything. And so it didn't bother me as much, but I do agree that there is some hesitation in wondering whether like our misunderstandings were things that they were doing intentionally or were oopsie daisies.
Right. Yeah.
In the execution here.
We'll find out in the next 3 episodes.
No oopsie daisies in the Priority 1 inbox, Adam. Those are always great. Should we go see what the friends of DeSoto have to say?
Absolutely.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Okay, Adam, we got a personal message here. This one's from Brown Wine Adam, a.k.a. Chateau DeSoto.
God damn it. That's my name now, isn't it?
No, that's the other Adam's name.
Oh, you know what? All right, that's better. Yeah.
I mean, you're both Brown Wine Adam. Let's just say you're both Brown Wine Adams.
I don't like that for either of us.
It's to Ben, Adam, and Wynde. Goes like this. Thanks for reading my promotional P1 in TGG. Now, I have a weird request. My brain always hopes that the Warning Bois drop will surprise me thusly. Baker Street, prepare a buoy and launch when ready. Warning Bois, an emergency buoy. My son, please can I hear that at least once? Thank you and apologies to Wynde. Love y'all. Bye.
I think Adam's been hitting the brown wine a little hard. If it makes sense for an FOD to come into these P1s with like a work request, we kind of actually need her to do our work. Brown Wine Adam.
The drop jukebox is available for drops that do exist.
I thought Brown Wine Adam would be like, hey, since that last P1, I have a lot of FODs now working the fields.
Yeah, toiling.
Helping me bottle and so forth. No mention of that.
I would love to hear, because that was like one of the most specific promotional P1s we've ever gotten. I would love to hear if
it was.
We're leaving our fingerprints all over the Oregon wine industry. And also, you know what? Joke's on you, Brown Wine Adam. Rob's editing this episode.
You fucked up. You blew it, Brown Wine Adam.
You made 2 mistakes, Brown Wine Adam. You asked for extra work to be done by an editor, and you asked the wrong editor.
Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! You have fucked up now!
Ben, we've got a second Priority One message here of a personal nature. It's from Corey and Becca, who don't have fun podcast names.
Oh.
And it's to Captain Lesotho and Chris Shimoda.
Who do.
Yeah. Here's how that goes. We were trying to find a thank you card to express our gratitude for your generosity in letting us spend New Year's Eve with you. But none of them were embarrassing enough. So here we are. Thank you. We had a lovely time, and we really appreciate you both. Can't wait to see you again at STLV. Forever grateful this podcast brought us all together. And then, much unlike Brown Wine Adam, Corey and Becca just request a drop.
Just any drop.
Yeah. Drop, question mark? That's how you do it, Corey and Becca. I would like to know what Rob's favorite drop is. I think Wynde gets asked fairly regularly, and that's always a thrill to hear. But let's hear what Rob's got in mind.
Hey, there's a booth.
Boothby.
But that booth.
Boothby's the name.
Why not call me Booth?
Boothby, I've heard of you.
I should hope so. I've been tending these grounds for 54 years.
The one and only Boothby.
I'd love to hear it. And if you'd love to hear something that you wrote coming out of our mouths on the show, a Priority One message is a great way to do it. Promote your wine business or, thank someone for a pleasant party, and anything in between. It's MaximumFun.org/Jumbotron to book yours today.
You know why you do it? Because it's a great way to support the production of our shows.
Fuck, that's right. I always forget that.
I got your back, dude.
Hey, Adam.
What?
Did you find yourself a drunk Shimoda?
I'm going to make mine Admiral guy you picture when you think of a person who works at an art gallery. He can project himself onto the Athena from great distances.
Yeah.
But he can't project himself over to the Miyazaki for reasons. And I think that's hard on a show where you're trying to establish what the rules are for this future technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the very same episode, we have the Admiral beaming his signal from Earth all the way out into space to where the Athena is. And then the Athena being parked next to a ship that it can't communicate with. And I guess the disparity of those technologies being not equivalent there, I wonder how difficult that is for people to get who maybe aren't the biggest Star Trek fans, who aren't super clear on what the technologies do, because I am a super watcher of Star Trek, and even that felt to me like bad episode to have those two exact technologies occur in the same space in the same time, you know?
Well, it's the aft antenna is just outside the scattering field.
Exactly. Yeah. That's too bad. For lack of a better choice, I'm just going to say him. What about you?
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it to Tarima. If I had an implant going into the side of my neck that had lots of little tendrils, presumably attached to my nervous system, I would not have the guts to yank it out manually.
I loved that there were roots in it, the way like a back tooth has.
Yeah, yeah.
That looked rugged to me.
It really looked rugged.
Good detail.
For being as rugged as she is, I guess it's my Edward Larkin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the episode, she's in a coma for who knows how long that's going to be. That's going to be a longer term thing.
Well, Adam, we always end episodes of Greatest Trek with a segment we called Warning Boys, where we express our appreciation for folks who leave nice reviews of the program on their podcasting app.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy.
A warning buoy.
This one's from Podcast Addict. It's a 5-star review from user Tanuki. It says this: the best men's health, mug draft, electric car tuning, Star Trek podcast out there.
All right.
I can't say it, but Tanuki can say it, and I can say, I appreciate you noticing. And we appreciate anybody who leaves a nice 5-star review on their podcatcher of choice. It really helps us rise through the algorithmic ranks. It's one of the few ways algorithms actually impact podcasts, and we really appreciate it.
Yes, thanks to Tanuki and everyone else who leaves a 5-star review for us to find.
Okay, well, that just about does it for this week's episode. Our beloved editor and editor-in-chief of the greatest newsletter, Rob Adler, is going to give you some credits, tell you a little bit about what's coming up on next week's show. Take it away, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Bye-bye.
Greatest Trek is an Uxbridge Shimoda podcast on the Maximum Fun Network. It's hosted by Ben Harrison and Adam Pranica. It's produced by Wynde Priddy, and this episode was edited by Rob Adler. Next week, Ben and Adam will be back to cover Starfleet Academy's 7th episode. It's called Cosine. Until then, we want to thank the members who are contributing monthly to help keep this show going. Setting up a membership is easy at MaximumFun.org/join. And when you do, you'll get instant access to all the network's bonus content, including more than 70 episodes from Ben and Adam in the back catalog. And of course, memberships make this show possible, so we really appreciate your support. Thanks to Adam Ragusia for composing the theme music, and thanks to the card daddy Bill Tilley, who I co-run the @GreatestTrek social media pages with. Be sure to find our accounts online and use the hashtag GreatestTrek when you post about the show. We're also on YouTube, so make sure you're subscribed over there, and merch is always available at podshop.biz. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on Greatest Trek.
Prepare a buoy and launch it when ready.
Warning buoys.
An emergency buoy. My son!
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows
supported directly
by you.